Hey everybody, Engine Doc back with you. Got another engine to look at. Got a Waterloo Boy, 5 horsepower. In its work clothes. We'll look it over here. And it seems to be all complete. It needs to be restored to run. And here's the primitive mixer on it. I'll explain this in a later video. Just giving you an overview. See if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that tag or not there, but it's got a pretty good tag on it, and the number on the tag matches the number on the end of the crankshaft, so that's good. It's on a electric wheel company cart, and you know, it's not a Waterloo cart, but it's a nice size cart for the engine, so I'm going to keep it on there. It's a nice engine, nice cart. It's not strapped on there very well, but we're going to change all that. I'll make the appropriate mounting for it, and we'll go from there. But it's seems to be complete. It's even got the governor ball cover on it here. It's got the crank guard. The bolts are loose in it. It seems to have compression, so we're good there. It was dry when I got it. I've oiled it and got a little compression out of it. It got a little leakage on the valves. They're going to have to be redone, but that's okay. Anyway, thought I'd give you a quick overview of the Waterloo Boy here. 5 horsepower. Hit and miss, igniter fired, battery and coil. The gears seem to be in good shape on it. So it seems to be pretty good shape as far as castings and stuff. I don't see anything broken on it, so that's a good thing. So we'll get it back inside and start on it here soon, and keep you up to date on what's going on with it. If you're interested in watching another restore to run, stay tuned. Okay, I finally had time to get the old Waterloo in, and it's up on the table here. I want to get this cart squared away first. I want to try to turn that engine around and see how it's going to set on the cart, and then we'll start the restoration of the engine. So I've gotten it, you know, suspended here on a crane and gotten it lifted off of the electric wheel company cart here. I like that cart, I really do. The thing I don't like about the cart is that these nubs here that stick up through the tires, they stick up, some of them 1/8 of an inch. I think the back ones here stick up pretty good. They haven't been worn down much, and that is hard to roll this cart with this engine on it on a slick concrete floor like I've got in here. So I don't know. I thought about grinding these things down, but I don't want to ruin the integrity of them. So I'm not sure yet how I'm going to address that. You can see that one over there sticks up pretty good. It's okay out on plowed ground, out in the grass, out in the driveway, the gravel driveway, but on a slick floor, it makes it pretty difficult to move. But that's not a real deal breaker. I'm going to still use the cart. Pretty nice old cart. So actually what I'm going to do is try to turn this engine around and see how it looks setting backwards, reversed from what I got it. I always like to see the cylinder heads stick out the back of the cart, and puts a little more weight, I think, back here on the back end. Kind of like the old Fairbanks over here. It's sitting here the way I put it on the cart. The cylinder head sticking back between the big rear wheels, and that puts the puts the flywheel more or less, a little bit closer to the rear axle. Kind of puts the load on the cart more toward the bigger wheels back here, and leaves the front end a little easier to steer. So that's the thinking there. Back over to the Waterloo. I'm going to start probably by this mixer system. I've been studying a little bit on that. That's a pretty cool deal there. You set your tank up so that the bottom of the tank is higher than this little valve right here. That way it'll gravity feed. You can open this little valve up and it'll gravity feed into this little cup here, and that chokes it and primes it. And then the top of your tank, you don't want any higher than the needle valve here, spray bar. So your tank, you're limited to a fuel tank that will give you a level somewhere between here and, let's say here. And that way your check ball, which is in here, I'm hoping there's one in there, I believe that's a check valve, that'll hold the fuel, up at the level while it's on the mist cycles. So anyway, we'll get into that and see what's going on there. Got a big dirt dauber there. I'll have to take him out of there. And probably take the piston out. The compression is not great, so I want to get a real good look at the cylinder and a real good look at the rings, make sure they're not stuck. They probably are. Hope that's all it is. Let's go around to this side. This cover here is loose for the flyball governor. I don't see a lot of these covers on these engines. I think they were taken off and discarded. And so that's cool. I got that. That's a really neat cover. And of course this thing's about to fall off. It's only one good bolt holding it on down there, but it's there and it's not damaged. So I'm still not seeing any damage, not seeing any breaks, repairs, or welds. And I keep looking. You'll find something. Gotta find something on it. It's gotta have some kind of a wound somewhere from all of its years of service. But any rate, I'm gonna get it turned around here and get it sit down on the cart, see what I need to do. I'm gonna get rid of this board. I don't care for that, and I want to be able for the as you can see, there's no bottom in the engine. I want to have grease and such just fly right out the bottom, so don't want this catching a bunch of junk, so I'm going to try to eliminate that. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I've made a little more progress here. Well, I actually got it turned around on the cart and it looks pretty good. The larger wheels back here on the back side of the cart, the steering part's up there, and that is going to leave me room for the battery box and fuel tank back here at the back. And as a matter of fact, the cart was already drilled to fit this engine, so for some reason they had that board and all that stuff on there for reasons unknown. I'll put it that way. So anyway, this is how it's going to sit. It looks pretty good sitting on the cart like this, and gives me plenty of room in between the wheels for access to the flywheels to turn it and start it and belt it up and such. And I think these wheels will even excuse me, turn enough to clear the flywheels. Let's check that. Yeah, they'll clear the flywheel nice when you turn the cart wheels around, so you can cut it pretty sharp. So that's a good thing. Gotten this cover off, and I've taken off the crank guard. And the next thing I want to do is remove this side arm over here, and let's go around here. I've already set the timing where it's at. I've marked it. I want to take this side rod off. it's got an issue with the cam roller there we're going to look at. And then I'm going to pull the piston out. I think once I get this assembly here off, I can pull the piston out the back. I'm probably going to take the head off anyway. But I want to jerk the piston out of it real quick and see what this rod bearing looks like back here. And if it needs attention, we'll have to probably pour a new rod bearing, but we'll see. So we'll get on to it here. Well, the concern I've got is this rod. Real loose. Also, the roller back here that runs on the cam is worn out. So I want to get this off and take a look at it. Get the right wrenches here. Windy outside today. Had to close the big door. Lots of noise coming in. I got the little door behind you open. That's probably where you're hearing some noise from. Couple of bolts back here. One thing about this engine that I've noticed, it actually came from, the story I got on is it came from Kansas, from an estate in Kansas, and every little hole on this thing and that I've tried to uncover or have inspected has got a dirt dauber nest in it. Just the guy had the exhaust pipe taped up with some duct tape, which is a great idea, when he was transporting it. And it wasn't doing him any good, because I looked in the exhaust pipe here just a day or two ago, and it's completely full of dirt dauber. So it's the dirt daubers. Even if there was a blind hole here, like behind a bolt hole, like these bolts I'm taking out here that holds this side arm on, even the blind holes back there where they're drilled clear through, the backside of them are mudded over with dirt dauber nests. So the dirt daubers must be fierce out in Kansas. They must. We have them here, but I think it's a different type. These guys we've got here, they build their nests out on an open surface, where the ones from Kansas or whatnot, they build their nest in holes and cavities. So, will this pull off? Yes, it will. There we go. All right. Got springs here. That's okay. Here's the roller. We're gonna have to do something with that. We can fix that. Part of it's flattened where it's been stuck and running on the cam in the stuck position. I see how that's made. I can duplicate that over on the lathe and we'll fix that. Let's see. What else here? Oh, I'm gonna look at the wear here on this and either shim it or maybe even build up this rod again with weld. I have some options. Take this screw off here and take it apart. And this up here is worn pretty bad, where it slipped through this holder up here. That's worn kind of badly, but you know, they can take somewhere and not be a problem. But I'll lay it down here. We'll look at it later. And let's see if we can get the rod loose on it now. Well, I've repositioned you to the back side here. Had to locate the tools to do this job with. The rod bearing was a little bit loose. Unlike the mains. The mains, I can see that they've been poured. Looks like fairly recently. But not sure about the rod here. It has been marked. There's 2 chisel marks up on top of the cap and the rod itself. And it's been apart before, obviously. Get my arm in your way here where you can't see. Get this bottom bolt out. And the top bolt. There's shims in there. I'm going to keep those nuts for right now because I'm going to put those right back on here in a minute. We're getting there. That's threaded up there on the cap. On the rod itself is threaded. There's the top shim. Should have a bottom shim fall out here. There it is. I'll lay it up there like that. Well, the rod bearing, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it looks like it was a cold pour. Looks like it got cold on them. I'll lay it up there. Let's look at this side of it. Rotate the crank around out of the way here. Yeah, that don't look too bad. This is the pressure side, of course. I'll try to run that. Let's look at the throw. Throw can be cleaned up. Look at this cap again. You know, it's stuck in there very well. It's a poured bearing. I'm going to make some new shims, thinner shims for it. And going to try to run it. That there, the pressure side don't look bad. This side is a little worn like right in here. But it's not too bad. I've seen worse. We'll try to run that. Let me get the, see if the piston will pull out of it here now. I'm going to run this down to the bottom. Grab this piston. Let's see if I can pull it out of here. 1, 2, 3 rings. There it is. Let you see it there. Doesn't look too bad. Oops. And I just wanted to make sure, see what kind of shape my wrist pin bushing's in. Clean the rings up real well. Like I said, it didn't have very good compression. But when I take the head off, I have a feeling I'm going to find valve trouble. We'll see. That looks pretty good. I'll lay it off to the side here. Matter of fact, I'll put the cap back on it. Well, let's wipe out this cylinder a little bit here. Let me feel it. Feels good. A little bit of pitting back here at the back end. It's been setting most of its storage life with the piston up about, well, halfway. And cylinder looks good. A few little pits back here where this part of the cylinder was exposed. The piston was setting on up in there. Doesn't hurt a thing back here. Up there where the rings run though, looks real good. So I'm gonna be pretty happy with that. That looks pretty good. I'm debating on whether or not to take the crankshaft out. I usually don't care to disturb these poured bearings if I don't have to. They've got plenty of shims. If I don't have to lift the crank out of here, I'm not going to. I'm pulling the greasers now. Sometimes on these old engines, 11/16 was too big, a 5/8 wouldn't fit. So a lot of times, just a good old crescent wrench will work. I want to take a look down in these grease holes here. It looks pretty, actually looks pretty bad. Black grease down there. Let me take these greasers apart and see what they look like inside. It was really stuck, but here it is. It's old black, nasty, old-fashioned grease that they used to use, and that's what I'm seeing down here, so that's fine. A lot of nasty old grease in there, and I'll take a pick and go down in here and clean that out a little bit, take a look at the crank surface, and we'll make a decision. Gonna hand hold you here so you can see this. Let me grab a flashlight over here. Well, I dug a lot of just dried grease out of there, and what they did when they poured those bearings, they I don't know if you can see how thick those bearings are, but they're thick. Then I dug all the grease out of them, and it was soft, degraded grease. It had just gone bad from all the years of setting. So I'm going to let it go. I'm going to use them. Pour some oil in there. You might be able to see the crank there, the shiny part down there. There you go. I'm going to try to use them, and I don't want to disturb these bearings unless I have to take it off to get this cam off. I've got to get this this pin out of here that holds the cam, because the cam has a little more play in it than I like, and if I can get that off there pretty easy, I'll take care of that that bushing, put a bushing in it or make a new pin or something. So I'll work on that here soon, but it's looking good so far. Well, I'm going to end part one for now. I think I've rambled long enough. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, maybe subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and we'll get back to it on the next part here soon. So thanks for watching.